I've got to remember to switch my camera on. Down here, I've got a 69, which is probably a button, but let's see what it is. Now, this is a home site, and we're going to concentrate here with Brad, Green Mountain Detectorist. I think that's right, Green Mountain Detecting. And he's just like, you know, he's like Nugget and Aquachick. He's so macho and so butch. I take 20 minutes to dig half a hole. He comes in 1 minute, it's all out.
Right in the middle.
Let's have a look at your spoonage, Brad.
Road.
Oh, look at that. Now that is an old one. That is an old piece of spoonage. It's pewter. So that's probably, with this area, it's going to be 1700s. Could be a little earlier, but I'd say that was some 1700 spoonage. And it always amazes me how much cutlery you get in fields. And the reason for that, as my wife told me, is that if you're chopping up vegetables and all sorts of stuff, you end up with a pile of stuff, and you scoop it all up and you throw it into the to the chickens or whatever, and your spoon goes with it, because it's a whole load of, you know, stuff that you can't eat but your animals can. And then of course, you know, you go into your pigsty or whatever, you scoop up all the poop and then you throw it on your field, and that's how it ends up there. So, and I thought, that's nonsense. And then I was cutting up some leeks, I think it was, and then I thought, where's the knife gone? And there it was, buried in all the leek bits, and you know, I could have easily thrown it out. So that's the secret of why there's so much spoonage and forkage in various places. It gets scooped up with the rubbish and gets thrown out.
Good to know.
I just made it up. It's not necessarily true at all. Well, it's very difficult terrain for me. This is Brad Martin of Green Mountain Detectors. This is his kind of thing that he does, bashing through undergrowths in forests. For me, this sort of undergrowth is almost impossible for me to move around, and it takes me 5 minutes just to get over a daisy. But anyway, down here we've got a 62, and it is probably, I'm going to guess it's going to be a round ball, musket ball, down there. Let's go get it. Under that sand there is going to be a round ball, and I'm surprised that here there's not many finds. There's a house there and a well, and I would think the whole place would be loaded, but it's not. And the other thing that tires me out is digging in roots. I hate them. You know, like a nice soft field which you can cut like butter. None of this rooty stuff. Well, I'm hoping, I'm praying that's out. It better not be a horseshoe at 6 feet. Well, you know what that is, boys and girls, don't you? Well, you should by now. Yes, you know what that is. It's a spindle whorl. There you go. The eponymous spindle whorl. Yeah, nice one too. So, I would say 1700s. Spindle whorl. Now, if you actually did see Celtic ring money, it would have a similarity to this, but it would be in bronze, and it wouldn't be exactly like this, like the dozens I find, which are in lead. So, lead means spindle whorl, bronze, and a lot less regular, a lot less like that. Similar, but not the same, is Celtic ring money. And if I found one Celtic ring money, I will find 200 of these. In fact, I found more than 200 of these, and I haven't found any Celtic ring money. So there you go. But of course, if you find one of them, you want to believe that it's Celtic ring money. I want to believe. Oh yeah, it's Celtic, please. No, sorry, not.
Well, I am right in front of the front door of this home, and I got a beautiful target, like 90. And so far, a lot of the things we've been finding are quite deep here. And Chill Bill and I were joking earlier about how, you know, it's a place very familiar to me. 18th century home in the forest, and wouldn't it be funny if I found a shoe buckle? And wouldn't you know it, one of my first targets winds up being a buckle of some kind. Now, I don't know if this is a shoe buckle or not. I've never seen one so thin this way. That's certainly what it looks like. It almost looks like this is the underside, this is the top, and it was mangled. But it has the characteristic holes for the pins here. Now, you said shoe buckles weren't super popular in France, right?
Well, no, the knee buckles.
Knee buckles.
Because the upper class had basically pants that went down to stockings.
Ah.
They had knee buckles. There'd be hat buckles.
Hat buckles.
There'd be lots of different buckles from different ages, but they didn't have the big. I haven't seen any big, fat Puritan style shoe buckles like that. But you obviously brought that with you.
Yeah, I travel with these. Well, I will say I've never found one so thin. I mean, this way. Usually they're more square. This one appears to be mangled.
Right. Let me see this.
Sure.
Oh, interesting. Belt buckle.
A belt.
Buckle, yeah. The pin will go through here.
Right.
To there. I would say probably a belt buckle.
I was thinking the other, yeah, this way. But yeah, for sure. It's a thin strap, right? That.
I would say that it's that way up.
Okay.
Out. And the pin would have gone across here. But you see, I don't get the buckles where you don't have anything which attaches anchors. Because in France, they had called anchor buckles, which are like a spike, a bit that joined here, and a fat anchor there. And you hooked stuff onto that anchor.
Sure.
And then, but this, I would say it's probably horse. It's off horse.
Really?
Yeah. That would be where my money was. Although it's kind of funky like that.
Yeah. Well, in any case, it's a big old brass buckle, and it gave off a beautiful target. It was a 90. Loud, not too deep.
Well, because I'm such a lumbering, rotund fella, this is almost impossible for me to hunt. So I come here and look at it and go, yeah, I have to do 6 paces for every swing, and my detector catches in that, and my leg catches in that, and the spikes get me, and the thorns. I haven't got that sort of deer-like agility that you have. So
Deer-like.
You know, the pleasure is all yours, and I shall watch, and I will swing occasionally. And if I find anything, I will know it's under a huge root, and I'll call you over to dig it out.
Perfect. Gladly do that. First really good find. I'm excited. Let's see what else we can find.
The spoonage?
The spoon.
The spoonage,
of course.
That sounds classic.
No, I said
material.
really great find.
But that was really great spoonage. That was probably 300 years old spoonage. So that is a holloway. And holloways are just roads that, because people trudged up and down mud roads for 1,000 years, they wore them away into these kind of ditches. And they didn't go around making ditches like that. You imagine the amount of equipment you'd need to dig a big hole like that. It was just people going up and down. Obviously, in the summer it'd be dry, and it'd all be blowing away and be dusty. And in the winter it'd all get muddy, and that would then turn into dust the next year. And over the years, over the centuries, you get these holloways. And sometimes they're really, really, really deep. But that's a kind of normal holloway. But there's probably quite a lot of stuff in the bottom there, leaves and, branches and stuff that have fallen in over the years. So the holloway itself is probably a fairly few feet deeper than that. Well, one of my lovely farmers has just shown up, and he's with Brad showing him the ruins. Meanwhile, I just found a piece of old, 17th century cooking pot. That's how it goes. There's me. Whoop. Falling over backwards.
Well, Chill Bill is too far away for me to call him over here, so we're going to have to link up with him later. But I just got a pretty nice target. I dug it up, and it is a silver coin. Now, he's saying that he was finding hammered silver coins out here. I don't believe that's what this is, but it's certainly silver. And it's certainly a coin. So we're gonna spray this off. And I just realized I don't have any water. All right, we're just gonna pour some water on it here. Look at that. Now it's not hammered. The date? Yeah, 18. 1808. An 1808 French coin. I don't know what it's called. But that's what it is. Chill Bill has said that he's been here many times. Found a bunch of silver coins here. So he missed this one, which means hopefully there's a few more out here to find today. But even if not, this thing made the day. An old silver coin. As soon as I get close enough to him, I'll show it to him and we'll get his reaction. And oh, I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Finding silver in France.
Got to remember to switch my camera on. Down here I've got a 69, which is probably a button, but let's see what it is. Now this is a home site. We're going to concentrate here with Brad, Green Mountain Detector. I think that's right, Green Mountain Detecting. And he's just like, you know, he's like Nugget and Aquachico. He's so macho and so butch. I take 20 minutes to dig half a hole. He comes in 1 minute, it's all out. But anyway, we can't all be Cousteau, as they say in France. But down here, Chill Bill has got a find. Let's go get it. Not only is it a coin, but it has a silvery look to it.
Come on.
And I know it's not going to be silver, but it has a silvery look to it. So here you go, boys and girls. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. No, it's a coin, but it ain't no silver coin. Money. It's nice though.
Mr. Chill Bill has his first coin.
It could be silver, actually. It definitely could be silver. See that edge? It's kind of like not green, but it's not going to be. But that will be a single tournoir, I would think. And it's got writing around it. Don't rub the coin. It says, Anyway, first coin of the day. Yes, indeed. So I think that's what's called billon, which is low-grade silver, which the French kind of invented. They went, you don't need pure silver. No, we keep most of that. We'll put some in there for you, and it'll look silver when you rub it around in your pocket. So that's what I think it is. But, of course, I get it home, I'd be disappointed it'd be copper. But it could well be billon, which is lovely, because they don't often come up, not with me anyway. Well, I suppose it's still pretty good claim jumping. But there's writing around there, so it may actually be made out of a coin or a jeton. We'll find out later. Anyway, nice button. So here we are. Here's my beautiful silver liard. Probably low-grade silver, but it's definitely silver, and it's lovely. I've found so few of these in 10 years. My lovely farmer has these incredible fields. Wonderful. So that is a nice iron buckle. It's kind of a bit less of a nice iron buckle when it came out of the hole. But yes. So this is the close hook, and it's lovely. It's going to be lovely. It's got a nice patina, and the hooky part is there, and you see it's been rolled up in the soil, and there's going to be a pattern there, flower or something like that, and that's where it was sewn on. Very, very nice indeed. 1500s probably. This would be, say, they would call this Tudor in the UK, which would be Henry VIII, all that lot. Bit of bronze, brass, copper, whatever, maybe off a pot. Yeah, it feels very Roman, but I'm told there's definitely no Roman here. No. And who am I to argue? Anyway, bits of bronze.
Well, it happened. Almost, kind of. I just found my first hammered silver coin, although the silver coin is called billon.
Billon.
Practicing my French. Which is 5% silver, 95% copper.
Random small amount of silver.
But it is a hammered coin from the
1400s, 1500s.
14 to 1500s. By far my oldest coin ever.
And that's a $20 bill there for the people that owned it.
A $20 bill?
Yeah.
It's a liard.
Yeah, a liard. Wow. It was 3 units, but those units were worth more back then, and as time rolls by, the units get worth less and less. Rather like the US dollar.
Incredible. Incredible. I have to shake the landowner's hand.
Merci beaucoup.
Rien. Content. Je suis très content pour vous.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm done. I can go home.
Yes.
Move up the
I get Tim to
the
pick
ticket.
you up.
Yeah, the plane tickets. Move. I can go.
So Brad is on fire, which is not surprising because, you know, he does the equivalent of climb mountains with a pack of rocks on his back, and that's what treasure hunting is in America. You know, like people that run, sprint with parachutes behind them to keep them back. So when he comes to the promised land, up pops all the treasure, and in his hand is another silver Bion coin from, say, 1400s.
The promised land. I like that. Right. So we were discussing earlier. Back in Vermont, I try to find 9 to 12 things to make the day, to make a good day for me. And we've hit that. We've been here maybe an hour and a half.
Well, it's actually a bit longer than that. I just
Is
feels
it?
like an hour and a half. But you had
Time flies.
you did find 9 things in like 35 minutes.
I did. And what we have here is another tiny Bion coin. Is it another liard? I don't know.
I should think so, or something similar to that. But that is, it depends what date it's from, because they keep chopping and changing their currencies around and calling them different things. And one day it was a crown, the next minute it was a hello, and the next minute it was a goodbye. And you know, it was a very unstable political time of lots of different kings from different places, and always at war.
Well, it's cleaning up. And it definitely has a silvery tinge to it.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than your average Bion, I think. I think that's a higher grade of Bion. And, you know, they would jack it up to 80% and knock it down to 5%, and depending on who they were fighting and how good business was.
Look at that. Wow. Incredible. It's a little broken, but I'm not complaining.
Let's have a look. Let's see what you got. So Brad here's setting himself up to tell another great tale of treasure, because he's just found himself a piece of decorated bronze from probably the 1200s, and that may have been the throat of a sword scabbard. That's my wild guess, but that is really old medieval. That's not 1400s. That is going to be 12, 13, 1100s. Could even be way older, but that is your serious, you know, medieval peasants in socks, old. Well, Green Mountain Detecting has been harvesting the medieval, and I've been getting nothing. But I got a really great coin to start with, so I'm not holding against him much. But I got a great signal down here. I got an 83, which is a nice fat copper coin, or not, or something else. But anyway, it's down here. Let's go get it. Let's draw even with the great man himself. It should be in there, but it probably won't be. Well, pinpointed time. And there it is, the coin.
You got a coin?
I got a coin, son. But it, what am I saying? But, and it's going to be a single turn noir. It's a copper of, well, it's going to be 1500s, I suppose, because that's when they started making them around here, and the house around here had been going for some time by that stage. But maybe not. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's older. We will see later, because I can see a pattern there, which I always can. And I always think it's Roman, but it's not, because it's too thin. But, ooh. And it might even be bullion, because it depends on how much silver it's got in it, whether it looks like a copper coin or not. So actually, Brad is having a treasure-gasm here. He's in shock. He's just found a medieval strap end, which is silver-plated, and he doesn't quite know what to do, whether to cry, laugh, lie on his back and just scream. And he's starting to shake. He's starting to shake.
I'm getting the vapors.
So here we have another spindle whorl. We love them, and this is actually again an older one. I thought, oh, for a minute, no, that's going to be 1600s, but I think it's perhaps 15. It's, you know, chunkier, and the chunkier anything is, the older it tends to be. Now we just had Brad find a 10 cent red light recording. So we just had Brad find a 10 centessimos of Italy, and now down here I'm claiming there's a silver coin because it's the right number and there's no trash in this field, so it should be. But having said that, I'm going to curse it. It'll be the first piece of trash that we found, so let's go get it. That's 49.50, which is silver. So Brad, would you like to, oh no, you wouldn't, you left it over there. Okay, fair enough. So here we go. We're going to see if
Aluminium, minium.
Aluminium.
Aluminium, minium.
Aluminium. Let's get it. How do I normally do this? Go on. There we go. You do it. Switch on first. No, it's all right. Keep it. Oh. There. Okay. Oh, so here it is. It's this thing here. Yep, and it's not silver. It's a tiny bit of, ooh, it's a tiny bit of brooch, I think. Yeah, it's a badge. It's a badge. And that's a medieval badge. I thought it was a Roman fibula for a minute because they all have that spine down there.
Fibula?
Potetra. Roman. No Roman here. Well, apparently now it's possible to have your Roman here, and I agree. So that could be the end of a Roman fibula, but it's old. And that, well, I mean, only the Romans I knew put those spines down the back, but it doesn't necessarily make it Roman, but it definitely is old. So this just came up, and it appears to be silver, and it appears to be, or it's definitely a thing, but what thing, I don't know. I'm thinking it might be like a top of a pen, and it's really heavy, really heavy, and I'm guessing that might be some kind of white metal, as they call it, i.e. silvery thing, but that's really good. If you know, post below. So I'm coming off the field because it's the end of the day, but this is a signal on the way to the car. You know how it goes. It's by the car, and that is going to be a ring. Maybe not a finger ring. Maybe not a ring at all.
I know.
Maybe a brooch. Yeah, it's a brooch.
Wash.
Yeah, an anu, a buckle, a medieval buckle or brooch.
Wash.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not gonna, don't rub the buckle, so I'm not gonna rub that. I'm gonna put that in the pocket. That's maybe 1500 buckle. That's what I'd say. There's 15 buckle from the 1500s. There's even got the tongue still there, so it's really good. In the pocket it goes.
I found my first Roman. I didn't know it was a Roman when I found it. As I was walking towards Mr. Chill Bill, he said, "Is it perfectly round?" "Yeah, it is." He's like, "Oh, it's probably not Roman." And I got closer, he saw it, and he said, "There it is, Bradus Martinus on a Roman coin."
So I brought Brad to my Roman spot, which is the mystery Roman spot, because I found a load of coins there when most of it was covered with piles of logs. And when they cleared the logs and ploughed it up, I didn't find anything else. But anyway, there's a patch which is literally a few feet away from that, which is full of trees and ferns. And I couldn't get in there, can't get in there. For me, it's very difficult terrain because I'm not a rugged mountain man. So he's off in there on the hope that there's more of the Roman in there and I haven't cleaned it out. Could happen. So there he is down there, swinging away. Ooh, it's all funnily fuzzled up. Kind of good lighting, actually. So I brought Brad here because he's never found a Roman, funnily enough, in Vermont. And obviously every treasure hunter in the world wants to find a Roman coin at some point in their life. And this has been a mystery to me. And he's got a special program for Deus that goes ultra deep. And no, don't ask him for it in the comments. No, don't. Anyway, so I've gone over here hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And apart from finding 20 in 2 or 3 missions and a few other silvers in another few missions, I've just struck out the last sort of 10 hours I've done it. 10 hours, 20 hours I've done it. I thought as he's got the Super Deus Forest program, he might be able to winkle some out. So he has found his first Roman.
Well, what am I going to say?
Woohoo!
Woohoo! We started off kind of in this big clearing where Mr. Chill Bill has found a ton of Roman coins on several trips. And we decided to move off kind of into the adjacent forest where I like to be. And we spent some time there. I found a shotgun shell. I found probably a 19th century button. And then started moving on to a completely new area where Chill Bill hasn't really spent a lot of time. And it didn't take 2 minutes. And I found my first ever Roman coin.
Yay!
And I didn't know what it was at first. I wish I kind of captured this experience, but I found it and I said, I got a coin! And he said, is it perfectly round? And I said, yeah! And he said, oh, it might not be then. I was like, oh, okay, well, as far as I know, this thing was made 100 years ago. And I walked up to him and he said, yeah, it's a Roman coin. And here it is. On one side, it has a building. And is that where it gets its namesake? Is that the altar?
No, it's an altar, a religious altar.
Just an altar.
It might have been somewhere in particular. Maybe the mint is in a particular place, and that would have been the representation of the altar.
I see.
Or also the fact that the emperor was Pontifex Maximus, which means chief pontifex, which is priest. He was the chief priest of Rome.
Interesting.
And that's where the phrase pontiff comes from, which is the Pope. And there's probably a direct line between Roman emperors and the Pope in terms of history.
Interesting.
And that would have been a sign that he was the chief priest of the Roman religion.
So this particular Roman coin is called an altar, and on this side...
Oh, no, it's not called an altar.
Oh.
That is an altar.
That is an altar. I misunderstood. And on the other side, the coin is dried out a bit, so it's actually harder to see now, is the bust of a Roman... Do we know which one?
No, I'll be able to identify it for you, probably.
Emperor. We're calling it Bradus Martinus for now.
The great usurper of Chilbilius.
Because it kind of looks like me. That's what I'm going with. Incredible. Thank you, Chill Bill, for bringing me here, giving me the opportunity to find something like this. Something that most people never find.
Certainly in America.
Certainly in America. Incredible. Do you think we're going to find some more?
I think there's no chance there's going to be 20 or 30 Roman coins in that patch.
Maybe a pot full.
Well, maybe. Could happen.
Let's find out.
A lot of people find a lot of pots of Roman for sure, but these are all spread around the area. So I don't think so. Maybe this was a Roman road. Maybe this was a campsite on a journey.
Amazing.
Because
amazing.
I found coins from the 1st century right the way up to the 4th century here. All in that sort of 50-yard patch. I think will be a 3rd century. And it'll be 230, so just after lunchtime. But no, 230, 250, that sort of...
3rd century, year 200.
Yeah, 250, 280, that sort of time. Maybe, could be as late as 320 or something, but I'm expecting it to be around that because that would have been a silver coin at some point, and they just debased it, and then they did things like did what the French did, have a billion,
Right.
and then they went down, and then they washed it in silver, and then they couldn't be asked anymore, and they just kept it copper. So there you are, and that actually looks like Brad. So he's found his coin from 2000. Good, rep the Roman. Apparently he's found it on the road, on the path, and I've been over that dozens and dozens of times, and he said it wasn't even deep. How can that be? How can that be? But obviously he's got the, you know, deep-seeking forest program, and maybe it went crackety-pop for me, and it went bangity-bang for him, and therefore he gets the Roman, which is why I brought him here. So proof of concept. And I've got a signal down here, which might be another one, and, you know, he will dig it in like, you know, 5 seconds. Oh, bang, 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 out will come a 2-foot hole. And me, I'll be going, for about 30 minutes, and then maybe, you know, get there in exhausted states. So, sturdy young Roman hero, get digging. I should be filming Brad digging, and I wasn't. And it's right in the middle of his hole, but, you know, that's 20 minutes of digging for me, and it's like 3 seconds of violence for him. And it is deep. And it's the slag.
It's got a hole in it.
Oh no, it's a buckle. It's a thing. Let's smash the artifact against the spade. That's a great idea. It's a ring.
That's how we do it back in the US.
That's right. That's right. Who cares if it's a Roman brooch? Let's smash it against that spade. Get all that patina off. Get all those gems flying left and right. Anyway, so that's a ring.
Yeah.
We're now going to go back to where Brad found that coin, and I'm going to cry. I'm going to say, you can't have found it there. You can't. But anyway, he's got his first Roman of all time, and Chill Bill has delivered the goods. Boom.
Delivered. The first 15 minutes.
This is how we roll. This is exciting because what Brad has done is he's found a new line of Roman coins, I think, because if you take where he's dug the hole here, which I should have detected 10 times already, that's where his coin is. And then you extend that line, that's where I found the initial big bronze of Clodius Sabinus. I think it's Clodius Sabinus. I don't care what you say about Septimus Severus. Anyway. And then you project it on, that's where I found a huge bunch, not huge, but like 15 Roman coins. And it's all kind of in a straight line, but it goes off there, not along the road. It goes that away, through those trees. All this area, which I wouldn't be able to get into during the summer period, might be full of Roman coins. So I've cursed it now, haven't I? Yes, I have. So Brad has got another coin. He can carve his way like a wild boar through these forests, unlike me. And he's bringing in the bacon. And I think he's got a double turnoir, but he doesn't know what it is, and he's hacking his way through the undergrowth to me. And I'm sat here on the log, like a little elf, waiting for him. And here he comes.
I can just make out some stuff. Hopefully it's enough for you to be able to identify.
Probably not Roman, but it could be. Hold on a minute, I've got to look closer here. Now, Brad don't do no live digs, because they're always a disappointment, but he's got a just totally signal right on my Roman hotspot, where I thought maybe with his deep program he'd find something I'd missed. And it's right there, and it's a 70 on my detector. Now he's taken a large amount of earth out of the hole. And I said to him, maybe it's the time now to do the live dig, which means we'll find a bottle top. Here he is, setting up his rig to do the deed. So Brad, the forest maestro, has extended my Roman patch by about 50 yards. And here it is, what he found. It was a 50 signal, tiny little coin, tiny little numis, probably not a minim because it's not quite small enough. And I think if I was to call the emperor, I would say it's Probus, but you know, we'll probably find out later. Get it under the microscope, and there he is. Look, oh, there he is there. But they all ended up looking like that. But you see the crown of the sun, and there he is, looking, well, actually rather vague. But that is a 3rd century, not a 3rd century, a 2nd century, something in the 300s. When Rome was going through a little bit of its downfall, but still kind of hanging on to its Romanness. But there wasn't much longer for it to go. And pretty soon, Constantine would show up and go, "Ah, no, it's not worth it. This blooming Western there, part of our empire, forget about that. Let's go to Istanbul, build Constantinople, and forget about the Western Empire. That's just a load of Herberts running around naked. We want to go where it's sophisticated, out east, where all the gold is." And that was the lot for the Western Empire, pretty much after that. Well done, my man.
I'm in shock.
So the Forest Meister has another signal, and it sounds like the last one, so it's going to be a bottle top. And he doesn't want to do a live dig because that would jinx it. And he thinks his 8 million subscribers don't want to see him dig up a Roman coin in real time. Of course they wouldn't want to see that. Who would want to see anybody dig up a Roman coin out of the ground for the first time in 2,000 years? That's just not interesting. So anyway, I've intervened. This is an intervention. I'm going to handheld video it, you know, kind of like, you know, Scorsese style. Real time, hole, make sure it's going to be a bottle top, none of this Roman stuff. And there's the man, look at that. This is American Mountain Man Rugged, and he's going to burrow like a burrowing machine, bulldozer into that hole and find a bottle top for us. Come on, let's go.
And as you were speaking just now, the Roman coin in the hole has transformed itself into a shotgun shell hole.
I know. It's inescapable. I thought you were going to say it's fallen out.
No.
You see, boys and girls, how not deep all this stuff is around here, which is amazing that it's so shallow. Here's a shotgun shell. I told you. The next time, we're not going to film it live, all right? It's going to be a copper coin of the 1900s. Or a bottle top. It's a bottle top, without a doubt.
I'm really only superstitious for the humor.
But 95, I've never had a Roman coin at 95. I mean, it could be a gigantic, you know, silver millenarius, whatever, big silver Roman coin, but the chances of finding one of them are zero.
Well, it's got to be.
Oh, it's a bottle top. 95, that's a bottle top, isn't it? It's without a doubt a bottle top.
It's a Roman coin. It's a Roman coin. I don't know if it's Roman. It's a little brass disc.
At 95. I suppose this is your crazy forest program.
Yeah.
Give it to me. It's mine now. Boom. Yeah,
Denier?
I'm thinking that it's light and it's got that denier crunchiness, but having said that, well, it's 7 foot away from another Roman coin, so I think the chances are good that that's a Roman. Don't rub the Roman. It is very, very light though. Blimey hell. Very, very light. Congratulations, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you for the congratulations, and thank you for bringing me here, giving me the opportunity.
And thank you for thanking me.
Thank you for thanking me for thanking you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for that. I'm going to stick my neck out and say that is a Roman.
I'm going to get my sandpaper out and see if we can get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, get a screwdriver and just carve the front off. That's what I do. Don't carve the coin.
I see a
fleur-de-lis or a head.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a double turn well.
Which I'm more than excited to find.
500 years old. I mean, it's not old enough, is it? Brad has got what he thinks is a religious medallion, and he won't show it to me because he's in the moment of filming. And here comes a car because he's about to film, and that's always what happens. And he's going to come over and show it to us in a minute. Now, Brad is having a treasure moment, and he's found a rosary, and there's more in the hole. And this reminds me of the moment when I was the last day with Nugget, when he came over a couple of years ago, and we found a coin spill on the last evening of our hunt. And it's like, oh, there's more, awesome. And this is that again, because this is the will be the third or fourth or whatever nth piece of this rosary. And that's exciting. I've never found one. And there he is. very aptly kneeling. And there's me struggling through the brambles. I'll get here in half an hour. Right, here we are.
Once again, you've converted my rosary into a string of shotgun shells.
It's bound to happen.
Do a little more digging here. Yep, that's what it is. Third piece. Still some chain on it. Looks like it's the same design as the other two.
Amazing. Amazing. Incredible.
Mind-blowing.
Awesome. That's what it is.
Yeah, this piece still has beads on it. We've got a third piece here.
Oh well, maybe it's a trinity. Maybe there's more down there.
3 would make sense, I guess, right?
Well, yeah, but you never know till you know. Bracelet.
Let's check again. Yep. More.
Yeah, I think it's on that wall.
Quite deep, huh?
Very, very deep. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I think it's in that back wall there.
It's gone. Oh. That's here.
No way it can be
Seems like
that
it's
deep.
going to be iron. Here we go. It's a deep program, huh?
Haha!
See that?
And that's the joining piece. That's,
It's a heart. That's what it is. Incredible.
Now, in the link below is a link to Chill Bill's Treasure Hunting Holidays. Yours for only $27,000 a day. I bet you there's a heart with a cross on it.
It is a heart.
And it will be the bleeding heart of Mary. Not, of course, that she actually had a bleeding heart in the New Testament, but the Catholics worked out that maybe she had later on and made a big thing about it.
Do you think that's it?
I think there's not the time to give up.
You're right. Let's keep looking.
So I think there's something in the back end of that wall. Okay. No, maybe not. No, there's more. There's more.
the wall you were talking about. That's a nail.
Did you just throw that away?
It's a nail.
How'd you know?
I looked at it. I'm very familiar with finding nails.
Look, this is a Christian thing. When you dig up a nail, you better be careful and have a quick look at it. It was a relic.
Well, I found it once, I'll find it again. That was it. 3 medallions with the centerpiece, that makes sense. Trinity. It's a good find. I've never found a rosary.
That's awesome. And that was also an awesome live dig.
Was a live dig. Didn't get jinxed this time.
If you want that footage, you can have it to $199. No problem. Usage rights.
Wrap up here.
And he thinks I'm joking.